Hello, friends. This is Kenny Conley. I'm the next generation pastor at the Ridge Community Church in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And this is day 76 of the 90-day volunteer recruiting challenge, where I am attempting to recruit 50 volunteers over the course of 90 days. Only 14 days left, and it is Saturday, and tomorrow is a big day. It's our second weekend in our new space. And last week was a tough one. We had a lot of people out, but we made it happen. And tomorrow is going to be another tough one because it just happens to be, this is a weekend, my kids included, are at a weekend retreat. It's a middle school and high school, we call it the retreat. And it's like a D-Now weekend, and it's amazing. It's so good for our kids. But a lot of our volunteers are teenagers, and a lot of our volunteers also help in the student ministry as well. So from when we initially scheduled tomorrow, we've gone through 30 names or 30 people who we scheduled who have declined, and they're not going to be there. So this one's going to be tough. We've had to reach out to a lot of people. Now we've got some people pulling favors for us, and we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It's all coming together. Thank goodness we have grown our volunteer base. Thank goodness we have a solid sub team. And so we're going to be just fine. But it does lead me to have a conversation with you today about subs. Subs for me is anyone who serves less than every other week. So every other week volunteers, I have them. We all have them. My goal is to move as many people to weekly volunteers. But anyone who can't even do every other week, they're a sub. They're on my sub team. I put them where I need them, when I need them, and they typically serve once a month. Sometimes they serve more often. Sometimes I can schedule them, but we have to have a healthy sub team. So when I count up how many volunteers I have, I don't count my subs. I count my weekly volunteers, my every other week volunteers, and I have my storytellers who they might serve once a month, but they serve all the services. That's different. That's not a sub. And so, but we gotta have to have a healthy list of subs. Here's the thing. Sometimes when I'm coaching, consulting, a ministry leader, it's almost as if it's like this shock that on Sunday, man, we had all these people call out. And it kind of threw us off. We were kind of hurt. We had to combine some classes because we had a lot of people call out. And here's what I just want to say. I want to normalize calling out because it's what people do. People are busy. People get sick. People's kids get sick. People are going to call out. Every single Sunday, people are going to call out. Now, I do think that there is like a commitment issue as well. Like there are some ministries where we haven't raised the bar high enough yet, so people just are undependable. Now, that's a different thing. But the reality is, again, people get sick, people go out of town, all those sorts of things. So it's going to happen on a regular basis. Hopefully it's not a no-show situation, but people are going to call out. So here's what I would encourage you to do. This is what I encourage a lot of my clients to do. Figure out what is your call out rate. Now, I'm not talking about like what I've been talking about, like I've got 30 people out. These are 30 people that we scheduled and we backfilled. I'm just talking about like, as you wrap up on Wednesday, Thursday, from Thursday afternoon until Sunday morning or Saturday night, if you have Saturday night services, people are going to start emailing, texting you, telling you that they're not going to be there. Those are your call outs. What's your percentage? Like go back over start to document it. Look over like the course of a month, 2 months, 3 months. What's your percentage? Because there's probably a pattern. Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 15%? Hopefully it's not more than 15%, but you probably have a percentage. So here's the thing, okay? We shouldn't be surprised. If we're smart leaders, I know we need more volunteers, but if we're smart leaders, then we're going to predict that, is it 10%? So it might be like 5 volunteers. It might be 10 volunteers, it might be 15 volunteers. If we're a smart leader, we're going to go ahead and pre-recruit 10 subs, 5 subs, 3 subs, and go ahead and ask them to come. Like, I don't know where I'm going to put you, but I'm going to need you. I promise I'm going to need you. And if for some reason I don't need you, then I'm just going to send you to service and give you a $5 gift card or something. I don't know. But I think it would take the anxiety away. And here's how I want to illustrate a point. I know a lot of leaders, and I've done this before. A lot of leaders, like, you're getting ready to go off on vacation and you're going to go on a cruise where you're unreachable and you're going to be gone. So you want to make sure that Sunday is covered. And here's what usually happens, because you're a responsible leader. So you arrange for 5 or 10 subs. You've got backups on backups. Like you pull out all the stops, and then you're out of town and nothing happens. And it's a great Sunday because everyone shows up, and the people who don't show up are covered by the subs that you already arranged. And my response to that is this: why does it have to be what we do when we go on vacation? Why can't that just be what we do every week? It's a strategy. So I'm going to encourage you, figure out what is your rate. You know, for me, I was just went back and looked at some of the numbers. Like on average, when I looked at Planning Center, the average is anywhere from like 4 to 10. When I look and see how many people canceled. Now, some of those are the week of, leading up to it, but I think typically on a Sunday, we've got 4 or 5 people that call out. So if I'm a smart leader, which I hope I am, if I'm a smart leader, then I'm going to arrange for 4 to 5 people to cover my call outs. And you know what that means? That means on Friday and Saturday, the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails, they don't stress me out. I actually get to take the weekend off. I get to go on a date with my wife. I get to hang out with my kids, and I don't stress. I don't end up having to work again on Saturday morning to try to figure out who's going to cover these people who called out, because I already know they're going to call out, and I've already covered it. So just a thought process. Now, I want to talk more about this. So in a few days, next week, let's talk a little bit about having a strong strategy of subs. I mean, we got to recruit volunteers. If you've got a deficit of volunteers, then your subs, you're not even thinking about subs. I'm just trying to figure out how to cover this Sunday. But here's why I want to talk about this, is because even in your volunteer recruiting journey, a lot of times when people say no to serving, they will say yes to subbing. So I want to talk about this because I think having a thoughtful and intentional strategy about subs are going to help you build the thriving volunteer team that you need. And it's also going to give you your weekends back. So let's talk about that this week. Have a great weekend.